It's a disease. And we have to all get together and fight this disease together. Everyone who came here obviously needs help with someone. Everybody. And Denise came here to help everybody here. And I know what it took her to come here. I prayed every day that she would be able to come and get the strength to tell that story, so nothing would be in vain. Now everybody knows the story about her son. Everybody knows it. It's implanted in your heads and your hearts. Now you have to remember that when you see somebody else suffering, you have to say, I know where we can get help from. I know where we can get help. I hear people say they were in a supermarket and they said something like, I'm upset because my brother's gonna die. And a woman said, here, take this card. And that's how the girl got my card to call me and ask me to come over and do an intervention. Said, my brother's gonna die. And there I was talking to somebody who was saying, I'm good. Told me his father was a drug addict, but it's okay if he took pills because he wasn't a drug addict. My father was a drunk, and I'm going to tell you that. My father was shot and killed by John Gotti when I was 10 years old. And I didn't know why he was shot and killed. But I know now he was shot and killed because he was drinking and doing drugs. And when you drink and do drugs, everything seems like a good idea. So fast money to my father was kidnapping wise guys and holding them for ransom. That was his career choice. And he paid the ultimate price. He was shot and killed. He died by this disease. People die every day from this disease. 2.5 million people last year around the world died from alcohol, only alcohol. Now pharmaceutical overdoses are catching up to alcohol. For the first time in history, it's going to pass because it triples every year, the number of people dying from pharmaceutical overdoses. How do I know? I read everything. I talk to everybody. Please don't be ashamed to say somebody in your family has a problem. Don't be ashamed to tell everybody. Don't be ashamed to have to call the police and have them locked up. Do it. Dial 911. If they're doing something illegal, have the police there. Because see, sometimes people have to be mandated to do the treatment because no addict thinks they have a disease. What you're doing is, I want to explain to you, when you're trying to take that drug away from them, you're taking their best friend away, their confidant, their lover, because they want nothing else but that drug. Nothing else matters. Not the family, not their brother, not their sister, not the little baby cousin. Nobody matters but that pill. They wake up every morning thinking about a chemical. And if you've been addicted to a chemical, you know what it's like to wake up and think about a chemical every morning. I didn't care. My mother, my grandmother, I could not care what they said. My mother was picking out a suit for me. That's all she was doing. She was just waiting for the phone call because I was unstoppable. But you have to do anything you have to do to get in the way, to make that guilt of using come into effect. See, once somebody has a head full of recovery, they can't have a body full of drugs because they know there's another way. But they have to be sometimes forced into it. And I'm telling you, when I do an intervention, I go in, I pray before I go. I pray in my car because I never know what I'm walking into. But I know that I'm not walking out without having somebody go into rehab or detox. Because if I leave that house without them getting help, they may die. And then it's on me. And I have people coming up to me saying, we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do anymore. They're crazy. I'm telling you what to do. Whatever you have to do. You find illegal drugs, you call 911, you say, you know they're dealing drugs in your neighborhood, call the cops and tell them. I talk to narcotics cops every day, because sometimes I deal with people who've been arrested. And I put them away. And I help them with their charges because I say they're in rehab now. I want them off your list of people to arrest. They got a shot at life. They got another shot. It is so sad, the situation that goes on every day. I have an office now. I have an office. It's a little office with a chair, one chair in it, and it's amazing that I even have it. Because really, my car is my mobile office. I'm usually driving around all over to everybody's house and helping people. I need more help. I need more communities involved. I need more people to sign up and say, I saw that Schumer was coming to Staten Island to sign a bill about the pharmaceuticals, a photo op he took. He didn't call me. He doesn't want to know what I know. He just wants to talk to the people that will get him votes. I'm not here to give votes. When I do an intervention, I don't get paid. I don't get a commission. I don't get extra money. They pay my expenses. It pays my expenses. So if my expenses are paid, I can keep coming to everybody's house. As long as my bills are paid, I'm comfortable, I'm driving to everybody's house. There's interventionists who charge $5,000 to $10,000 to come to your house, to fly to your house and stay there, and they say, oh, we're going to do this procedure. There's no time for anybody to sit in your house and go through a procedure. You call me, I come to your house, they're gone. I say, what insurance do they have? If they don't have insurance, I still get them in. I went to a house yesterday, the kid had no coverage. I called the facility and I said, listen, please do me a favor. This kid's 18 years old, he's got coverage that nobody will even take. Please take him. And the facility said, you know what, Joe, we'll take him. They give him a $24,000 scholarship. And sometimes I have to beg for them to take people, but I do that. People say, how do you get it done? I remember when I went to detox in Staten Island, they said, you have to wait in the crisis center for 2 weeks because they don't have a bed. But if you don't want it, you can go home and wait for 2 weeks. And that's like saying to me, if you're alive in 2 weeks, we have a bed for you. I send people to places that have the detox right on the site, and they never leave. There's never not a bed for them. Because I learned that there's different places, different ways of money. New York State, I talked to an insurance guy, he told me that they're going to recommend he does 5 days a week intensive outpatient, and then they'll give him a detox. And I said, who are you talking to? Where's your boss? I want to talk to him. I'm fighting insurance companies. I'm talking to police officers. I'm talking to parents. I'm talking to kids. I have parents asking me questions. I'm learning about, there's medicalloans.com. I just learned that the other day. Medicalloans.com, you go there, and if you need to go to rehab and you can't afford it, you go there and they help you out. They help you out the best they can. I'll call the rehab and say, how much is it for 30 days? They say 8,000, 10,000. I say, how about 5,000? And I have spoken to detoxes about what we were talking about, a fund, making a fund in honor of Denise's son to collect money to help kids that don't have a chance. And I'm telling you, this 18-year-old kid, I got him at $24,000. He doesn't have a chance if he doesn't go to a place. He was sitting there saying, I'm all good. I'm real good. I'm great. I don't need to go. Some people I say, what mirror did you look in that told you you were good? Because I want to own that one. I want it to tell me I got hair today. I told the rehabs that I'm starting a foundation in honor of Denise's son. And I told them that I need them to come up with a number, what they will accept as full payment for 30 days of treatment for a kid who has no coverage. Because I had a kid today who had coverage. It was $10,000 deductible. $10,000 deductible. And they only paid 50% of everything else. How does that kid have a chance to go anywhere if the parents don't have $10,000 right up front? So I call the rehab and I tell them, how about $7,000 from this person? They pay you $3,500 up front and $3,500 on the end. And I'm negotiating with these people and they're working with me. But if you don't try it, you don't know it. I learned that you can ask your insurance company for a one-time exception. Never in my life, when you buy insurance, they don't go, listen, if you really want to go to a better place, you can ask for a one-time exception. I learned that you can ask, I need a one-time exception, that my kid is sick and I want to send them to this place, and they have to consider it. But all these things nobody knows about. Everybody sits there going, what do we do? What do we do? And what do we do turns into, what are we going to do? You get somebody to your house, you get everybody there, and you make sure. Listen, I'm going to tell you this, because I have a father who is screaming, who's telling his daughter she can't come home. You will not come home. And when he hangs up the phone, he cries hysterical from his heart, screaming, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm sitting there watching him, I'm crying with him. I go on interventions, I got to stop myself from crying because of what I see. But I still have to go in there and do my job because I promised God I would do it. See, I promised God that if he gave me my life back, I would do this. I would help anybody who put their hands out. And many people have put their hands out and they continue to put their hands out, but I only have 2 hands. And I go home and I pass out. It's not even going to sleep. I pass out from talking to people over and over, phone calls, asking questions, answering questions. I need a switchboard. And that's why I'm saying it should be packed in here. There should be everybody standing here, because the problem on Staten Island isn't this big. But now that you're here, I need to tell you all about it, that I need your help. That everybody, we need your help. We need to get together. We need to fight the disease that our families are dying from. Our children are dying from it. I remember they told my grandfather, they told him, stop drinking or you're going to die, and he died 6 months later. I remember them calling, look at this drunken bum. Look at this addict, junkie, bastard. And that's what we're brought up as. We were brought up as this, look at this drunk. He's a piece of shit, right? Why won't anybody reach down and grab his hand and say, I'm going to help you? They're just human beings who are sick, who need help. They're not bad. Nobody grows up and says, I'm going to go to 4 detoxes, I'm going to get 6 rehabs in, I'm going to ruin everybody's life, rob my father's jewelry, my mother's jewelry. See, because when you go to school, you have dreams. And I'm going to tell you that when I came back, I had a dream.